Hey guys, hope you're all doing well. Now for today's video, I wanted to talk about Jurassic World Dominion and all of the new dinosaurs, prehistoric reptiles, and other creatures that we've gotten confirmation of appearing in the new film so far. These include a lot of species that will more than likely get teased in the new Jurassic World Evolution sequel game that's due out at the end of the year alongside the first trailer for the new movie, which could even be out before the Super Bowl. With that being said, let's go ahead and begin. These are all of the new dinosaurs and prehistoric animals that we know for a fact will be in the new movie so far. First things first, we have to get the species from the Dominion prologue out of the way. These include Moros intrepidus, Quetzalcoatlus, Dreadnoughtus, Oviraptor, Iguanodon, and the Giganotosaurus. The last of which we know will more than likely be shown off way more during the modern day parts of Dominion's story. Now, a lot of these new creatures we don't really have too much information for about that, since they have so far only been shown off during the late Cretaceous portion of the film. But Dreadnoughtus was factually teased in both Jurassic World and Fallen Kingdom, so it could also make a pretty cool appearance later on in the movie as well as a clone. Next up, we have some of the new raptors, such as Pyroraptor, which we have yet to see in any sort of official rendering from the movie just yet. However, the other new raptor species, Atrociraptor, actually has been teased in a bit of Dominion merchandise that people have been talking about for a little while now. So this is a dinosaur that a lot of people assumed would actually be named Deinonychus after some information came out about the new Jurassic World movie, retconning the JP3 variants of Velociraptor into that type of dinosaur, but we don't honestly have any evidence of that being the case just yet, and in my opinion, these were probably always supposed to be Atrociraptors from the jump. Although one interesting thing to know about these four happens to be the fact that three of them seem to share the Lost World Jurassic Park tiger stripe male raptor colors, while this other one seems to be inspired by the JP3 alpha female from that movie. Nevertheless, they are a part of a new raptor pack that will be showing up in the next film. After that, we have a few other species, such as the Dimetrodon and Lystrosaurus, neither of which happen to be actual dinosaurs, by the way, but interestingly, both do happen to share the same time period roughly together, with these animals hailing from the Permian, although Lystrosaurus was believed to be from the late part of that era and closer to the Triassic, but if I'm honest, I'm not so sure a lot of that matters to the JP franchise right now. Now, Lystrosaurus has been given an animatronic model, but no real info on what the Dimetrodon is going to look like has come out just yet. The same can be said about Therizinosaurus, which is a heavily rumored dinosaur that is said to be appearing in the movie, and while no official word has come out at the moment, it did get a toy described about it a few months ago, so it could also be showing up if we're lucky, and I wouldn't include it in this video if I personally didn't put stock in some of the evidence that I've seen for it being in the next film. There isn't anything official, like I said, not just yet. We don't have a render of the animal, but I'm pretty certain, and you guys can take this to the bank, Therizinosaurus is probably going to be in the movie. Now, the Quetzalcoatlus is an animal that in my opinion should absolutely be featured in more than just the very beginning of the film, since this has actually become not only one of my favorite new creature designs that we've seen so far, but it's actually getting up there in some of my favorite Jurassic Park designs of all time. And if we happen to see more of it in some kind of really elaborate and exciting action set pieces set in the modern day, it could even rival the Pteranodon from the end of the Lost World, which, for those of you who didn't know, is also one of my personal favorite looking animals from the entire series. Quetzalcoatlus was actually featured a lot in the original Jurassic Park 4 pitch trailer that Universal used to kind of get the ball rolling on the Jurassic World series. So if they use it anything like what we saw in that pitch trailer, I'd be more than happy. Dreadnoughtus is one that I really do think will show up later on in the film, more than likely alongside Jurassic Park classics like Brachiosaurus and Apatosaurus, but it's really the Pyroraptors that I think most people are going to be paying attention to the most in Dominion. An official look at the animal hasn't exactly come out just yet, however, with the Atrociraptors already getting talked about via the merchandise box that has been going around, I think that the other new raptors are going to be heavily discussed as well. These are two wildly different species that I'm sure will help balance out the film designs in a pretty unique way when compared with other films in the series. Hyoraptors are probably going to be super feathered, hopefully their wrists will be right with proper wings. Meanwhile, Atrociraptors are more of like that old school Jurassic Park, loosely based on paleontological accuracy formats, such as Baryonyx, Dilophosaurus, you get the picture. Then of course we have the Giganotosaurus to go over, which we actually got a pretty solid look at in the Jurassic World Dominion prologue teaser at the beginning of F9. Now in my opinion, the Giga's design is wildly bizarre and something that looks very monstrous when put up against something like the Oviraptor or the Quetzalcoatlus. However, it could look different from what has already been shown if the modern day equivalent changes appearances after being cloned with amphibian DNA, or whatever kind of other animal they use to fill in those gene sequence gaps. Still, I have a theory that the most notable aspect of the Giga's design, namely the spikes along its back, along with the massive ridges over the eyes, come from the dinosaur sharing genetics with another animal that we've already seen, which would be the Allosaurus. Now the reason I say this is because if you look at the Battle at Big Rock design for the Allo from Colin Trevorrow's 2019 short film, that dinosaur came with a row of spikes protruding from its back, and since Allosaurus is related to animals like Carcharodontosaurus and the Giga in general, I think what Universal may be trying to do here is tie in some sort of Jurassic Park franchise genetic continuity with how they've built their new big bad theropod. And on top of that, you know, we've already heard in the past that they want all of their theropods to look uniquely different from one another, because a lot of these two-legged dinosaurs that eat meat do look similar to T-Rex. And if they keep introducing new dinosaurs that just look like different versions of T-Rex, I can see that getting really annoying for general audiences, and it's not going to help them really establish a new creature in their world very well. Personally, I think they did go a little bit overboard with the size of the spikes, but there is also some other stuff in the story that could lead me to believe that it could be something more of an Indominus through line throughout the entire trilogy. So, or something else really. Who's to say why they did this at this point in time? We're gonna have to wait to see the next film, but hey, that's just my own personal theories on this subject matter. There will more than likely be even more new species of dinosaur and other creatures revealed in the future for Jurassic World Dominion, but at the moment, we're limited to what little info we have at this given point in time. It's going to be interesting seeing how all of the new animals look alongside the other ones that we've seen in previous movies, but for now, this is all we really have to go by. So, which one of these animals are you personally looking forward to the most? And what kind of new dinosaur would you like to see the Jurassic movies tackle one day? Whatever your own thoughts happen to be, I'd love to hear them in the comments down below. Now before I go, I'd like to thank all of my game wardens, as well as all of my InGen executives. I'd also like to thank all of my park workers and InGen hunters as well. Guys, it really means the world to me that you all continue to support what I do, and I never want you to ever forget that. Now, I'd like to thank you all for watching today's video and hope that you all enjoyed the content. If you feel like I deserve it, I'd appreciate the like and hope that you'll consider subscribing if you're interested in hearing from me again. I'll see you all in the next video, guys, and as always, take it easy.